I believe that empowerment is about preparing young individuals for the future. Lumia was one major project that culminated in a 20-page research paper that I. The work that I'm doing is more towards social entrepreneurship, since we're trying to create an impact towards kind of society.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is me Hasini Lakshmi Narayanan here. If you're new to the channel, this is the first YouTube channel where I am interviewing young achievers. And just to give a short introduction about me, I'm Hasini Lakshmi Narayanan. I'm an 8th grader, 13-year-old, studying at Shridanat Vidyashram, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. I am the founder of an organization called The First Step, which basically aims to inspire and motivate other children to initiate their first step at a young age by interviewing young achievers. And I am also a TED speaker and a freelance writer for the Hindu Solar Edition. The first step is supported by the CIT, Chennai Institute of Technologies, number 2 Engineering College in Tamil Nadu, India. And now, to introduce our guest for the day, we have Mihir Mutyampeta, who is the founder, president at the Empower for Youth, chief operating officer at the Machina Technology, and also who's been an ambassador for the MUN and scholar research. I'm sorry, and a research scholar in the Lumiere Educations. I am very, very excited to interview him as he himself is a social entrepreneur, as like I am, and who also wishes to support the youth. So, yeah, I'm very curious and I hope you are as well. And without further delay, let's welcome him. Hello, hi, thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Being the founder and president at the Empower for Youth, so, what do you vision for, and what kind of things do you do there to create a difference in with the youth generation and with the other?
Yeah. So, Empower for Youth, as is in the name itself, is about um, contributing to youth empowerment. I believe that empowerment is about preparing young individuals for the future to ensure that their abilities and potential is at the highest. So, in the past, we have raised money to help underprivileged students at various facilities, mainly orphanages, to provide technological resources to them, which would then help them support their academic activities. Right now, we are still, working towards monetary assistance. We are raising funds right now, but we're also working on resources to help students to begin their journey in computer science. So this is one small part of what we're doing, but this is an initiative that we took in collaboration with another small startup called Machina Technology, and this is where we're working to create resources which are completely free for anyone to use for them to begin a journey in computer science. So overall, the type of activities that we engage in are to contribute to helping people find their passion and also help them build skills for their future.
Right, amazing initiative. And if you do can share, when did you? Is it you alone who found the initiative, like the organization? And why did you want to do something, you know, which can help the youth generation, motivate them to basically get themselves into education, and because it itself is a great initiative, and I want people to know why it all started.
Yeah, of course. So it started from kind of observation in a way, because I've seen around me the community. There are many, for example, daily wage laborers, right? Many of their kids, I've seen even their kids are working with them in whatever work they're doing. For example, construction. This is where I've seen it, and I kind of started thinking about why these kids are forced to work with their parents. It's kind of general knowledge. Not, I think everyone knows this, but I wanted to think about it because I've never thought about it before, and I kind of noticed that there are two main reasons. One, it could be either the family cannot even afford to, which is very common, unfortunately. But also there is certain situations in which students have not been exposed to the various paths that they can take in the future. And I think, thinking about that, I realized that that just making them aware of the options that they have in the future and letting them begin a journey in which they really care about instead of just following the bandwagon in the society would really help them contribute the most to society. And that's kind of where the idea began, and that's how it's going on now as well. About founding, it was me only who started it. The idea was mine, but soon after I began it, I brought on a friend of mine where I met in an MUN conference, and from there we grew. So we started as a team of 2, and now there are around 15, 16 people in that team.
Great, amazing, and I hope this message spreads to more new people. Maybe a lot might not have resource to technology even now, but just that many people are in technology, and those could also support the others uh, through possible ways and get themselves into education. As you said, children are being forced sometimes, maybe because of the poverty, if I can clearly mention.
Yeah.
So yeah, great initiative, and hopefully after seeing this video, many more people do understand and support the other generation to help children who can't afford to study. And yeah, with this let's move on to the next question. You are a research scholar in Lumiere Education, right? And so yeah, what do you do as a student advisor and a Lumiere research scholar? And also, what was your learning being on an internship, if I suppose if that's right?
Yeah.
Right.
So first of all, I'll kind of talk about the program itself so that you understand what it is about. The Lumiere Research Scholar Program is a selective international research program. Basically, any student, it can be from high school or certain years of college, they apply to this program, and around 25 to 30% of applicants are selected to move on to the interview round. And after interview, they get selected into the program. So each selected student is matched with a mentor who will allow them to work on a research project of the student's choice. So personally, for me, I was interested in computer science, but at that point in time, I had no idea what computer science even consisted of. So this started in September of 2020, and it's a 3-month program. But the student advisor program, it's a selective board. Again, I'll talk about that later. That is going on right now as well. So about the research program, I was connected with a mentor from the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. And I worked with him on a project in machine learning, which is a specific part of computer science, especially in the realm of linear regression. So from this experience, I learned a lot, especially about research skills. But the main thing I've learned is patience and perseverance, basically because learning something new is not easy, because I had absolutely no previous experience or knowledge in this linear regression, which is mainly statistics actually, but you also incorporate it into coding, specifically in the language of Python. So both things were fairly new to me at the time, and I had to spend a lot of extra time on my own just trying to figure out certain things. And I really learned how to do research, either academically or generally, because that really helped me in future endeavors as well, even for school or for any other work that I was doing. So talking about, you talked about the student advisorship as well. The program, that is a team of around 10 people. It might have grown now. We hadn't had a meeting in around a month, but it's a group of students that were part of the research program in the past. They ask us to submit another application as to how we can contribute to that, to Lumiere's growth as an organization, which it's an edtech company. They facilitate educational experiences. So it is a company, and we work to help their growth in either gaining students, creating programs, engagement programs within the community, and so on. So that is mainly about helping the founders, who are Stephen and Dhruva. They're both Harvard alumni, and we help them kind of get a student's perspective on all the work that they're doing.
Right, great, amazing again, the work which you're doing. But one more question which I wanted to ask personally is, if you can talk about your experience being an ambassador for the MUN.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So that was the monthly conference. That is basically an MUN, which is Model United Nations, but their goal is to have a conference every month. So therefore, they named it monthly. That was the October chapter, October 2020, and in that I was recruited as an ambassador for the program. So our job as an ambassador was basically to bring in more people into the program and essentially help get more delegates into the conference. So for me, the reason that I was interested to be an ambassador is because I know that in India, MUN isn't as big a thing as it is in many other countries, and especially within my school, there are very few people that are interested in MUN, and I know that it's not because people are not interested in it; it's because people don't know about it. So what I did was I worked with our vice principal and I worked to get students from the younger grades around 7th and 8th grade into MUN. And this really helped increase the kind of reach of MUN within our school. So a lot of people from the Cambridge curriculum, I brought in around 20 students from our school and four other delegates from other schools through personal contacts. And that awarded me the third place ambassador award for that conference. And more than the award itself, I feel like the work that I did was very impactful because it introduced these people, my juniors basically. It impacted them in the way that they were introduced to MUN, and that kind of began a journey for them. So that was my experience as well.
True. I mean, yeah, of course, a lot of people are interested doing MUN because it's a very huge organization which has control over internationally, if I can say. So yeah, I mean, it's great. Again, I have nothing to explain on how I kind of feel right now. So yeah, it's insane, right? Being only 17, the work which you're doing, amazing. Applauses for
Thank
that.
you.
So, yeah, my next question to you would be, what kind of computerizing projects have you done so far by your own? So that would be one question which I wanted to ask, including if you can talk about some of your awards and applauds which you own. So yeah.
So about the project, the Lumiere was one major project that culminated in a 20-page research paper that I wrote. So that was the first major project that I've done in the realm of computer science. And since then, I kind of explored ML a lot, and I've kind of improved my literacy in in ML, machine learning. And right now, I'm working on a personal research project, which I've named it EduML. It's education and ML combined. And I'm trying to analyze the current literacy rates across districts in India. And based on that, I'm trying to develop an understanding of it and kind of figure out what causes literacy to be at what it is right now. So this is again, it's related to machine learning, and I hope to kind of get an understanding and maybe even create a plan on how to improve literacy. But again, I'm not as I don't have any position of authority to implement that, but I'm just trying to do this so that I get an understanding and maybe discuss amongst my peers about literacy. Since Empower is also about youth empowerment and supporting education in India for the youth as well. So that's kind of how I'm mixing my two interests. About my awards, as I've said, the third place ambassador award for MUN. I participated in a few debates last year in the 11th grade. I got a few awards there, a first place and a second place. When COVID wasn't a thing in 2019, I was a part of the swimming team, so I got a first place 50-meter backstroke award at a Cambridge school sport meet. When in MUN again, I got a best delegate award for that monthly conference last year, and I got 2 honorable mentions in-person conferences before COVID. And after my 10th grade, I got an international certificate of education with distinction, which was only one of the 2 distinction awards given to my class in 10th grade. And one final award, when I was in the United States, I was a national level award winner in Telugu, which is my mother tongue. There were national level competitions, and I received a second place award, and I was a 3-time first place winner within the state competition.
Amazing. I mean, you're multi-talented already, if I can say. See, so yeah, as you mentioned, first let me talk about the first part of the question which I asked,
Yeah.
which is, about, you know, the work, computerized work which you're doing. Amazing initiative again, great to go, and all the best for you to develop more and more.
Thank you.
And secondly, right, again, see, this is what, see, like, how do I tell? You are multi-talented, right? Not only do you have entrepreneurship, also you have other coding, computerizing stuff like, developing, and also your your own initiative, which is to take care about entrepreneurship and leading a team, which is one task which everybody does face, if I have to say personally. And also you have your boards, if I suppose,
Yeah.
right? So it's one big responsibility which you hold, and still you hope to manage everything at the same time. So that, I connect to my next question from you. So how do you manage time in, between all of these three things, which is both your extracurriculars, your studies, and then your total opposite work side, right? Which
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be my
Um,
next question.
So I think setting priority is important. For me, academics is always important. I think it is for any student. So I make sure that I spend the majority of my time improving my understanding in my subjects, and to make sure that my subject understanding does not slip. That's the first thing. Academics is always the priority. And after that, my priority is with Empower and making sure that things are moving forward, making sure that there is continuous content that is coming out. It's been a little slow recently since many of our team members had exams, but overall, that is another priority. And I think time management in general is really about your priorities, and based on what you feel is the most important to you, you have to just kind of write it down and just figure out what you want to do based on the time that you have in a day. It will change in exam season. You're probably not going to spend as much time on uh, extracurricular activities as you would on academics. But again, it depends on the time that you're talking about. And finally, I think uh, after Empower work, it's my personal project, and also it's 12th grade now, so making sure that I get my academics in check is my highest priority. So that's for me. But for you at your age, I think you have a lot more time to explore, especially with the first step work that you're doing. So it's great that you started early, because I think that's the key to accomplishing anything. Start early. So
True, right? But and now let's talk about entrepreneurship, right? Which is one vast field, I guess, which is required for any person who even isn't, into business itself. Because according to me, entrepreneurship isn't only about marketing or doing business. It is way more beyond that. So, one question which I had is, what is the one difference which you want to create as being a social entrepreneur? Secondly, do you think children should be, should know about entrepreneurship and get into the field, right? As to coding or other field which is being taught in the school. So that is
yeah.
my next question.
Right. So for the difference that I want to create as an entrepreneur, I feel the work that I'm doing is more towards social entrepreneurship, since we're trying to create an impact towards kind of society in general. But my goal is to kind of enable the current generation of youth to accomplish whatever they set their mind to. Before that, there are many people that don't know what they want to set their mind to. So that's another thing, right? So helping them kind of figure out what their purpose is, and helping them figure out that they want to do this would really help. And also, there are personal barriers that each person can hold. It could either be due to societal norms, or it could be just to things like a lack of self-belief, a lack of focus and purpose. I think a lack of self-belief comes from not having role models or not seeing enough success stories. I think that's another thing, helping people discover their purpose by exposing them to people that have accomplished things in their lives is another thing that would really make a difference in a person's life. And these are the kind of things that I hope to accomplish as a social entrepreneur, as well.
Right, and yeah, I similarly vision for the same, because yeah, one thing which we aim for is everybody does have talent, just that many people doesn't uh, show up to be the star, but it might be due to a lot of reasons: family, insecurity, society, and maybe if they do have all of these support, they might be uh, you know they are from no background, classes which they can't even afford to get
Yeah,
into something. So yeah, we want to provide that motivation which they can find. So I guess we would vision for the same, but we work, in a
in
different
different
way,
realms. Yep.
right? And I'm happy about it. And now, let's just leave all of these aside. And I would want to know about you yourself.
Mhm.
Just being a 12-year-old. I'm sorry, a 12th grader.
Yeah.
Uh, right. So, what are your other hobbies? And mainly, whom do you look up to as a role model and as an inspiration which you want to become in the future? Or yeah, if you get it.
Yeah. About my hobbies, uh, I think we have a garden, so I like just spending time in the garden, making sure that things are growing properly. That is one thing. Garden is I'm very interested in that. I love watching movies. Um, it's fun to watch movies. I like watching many different languages: Telugu, English, Hindi, and also I like making food. I love eating also. Not a lot, but I like making different things. It's just something that I love. And I also love traveling, but it hasn't been possible in the last 1.5 years since the pandemic began. But that's what I love. About inspiration, I think my inspiration comes from my work, and it comes from observing my community and seeing the people that uh, have a potential but not being able to leverage their abilities. And you said a role model. I think one role model would be Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He came from essentially nothing, and he became one of the most accomplished individuals in India. And he's a role model, I think, to everyone from India. Seeing what he's been able to do for our country, I think I aspire to be able to contribute even like a small bit of what he has done for our country. And I think uh, being able to work for your country is the biggest privilege that anyone can have.
True, true, of course. I mean, definitely being an Indian, I guess we have way more, guts to just make the country proud.
Yeah.
And yeah, I totally agree with what you said. Great inspiration, of course. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Even I look up to him as, to the initiatives that he has done. Becoming the president of India, being the missile man of India, from nowhere,
Yeah.
right? Which is really great and very inspirational as well. So again, great. And now to sign off with the last question, is there any message which you want to convey to the people watching? So that would be it, and we'll wrap up for today.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A message that I'd have to anyone, first of all, take the time to explore. Kind of think about what you enjoy in school, and that will help you find what you're interested in, and take the time to explore what you figure out that you're interested in. Don't be scared, because this is the time that we have to explore. If we mess up, that's fine, right? That's just a learning, and you can keep moving on. This opportunity to explore without any restrictions or boundaries may not come back to you in the future, and spending that time to make sure that you find what you're interested in and learn from those experiences is the biggest gift that you can have at our age. Yeah, that's the message I'd have for anyone watching.
Amazing, amazing. So insightful to hear. And yeah, I hope the same is conveyed to many more people. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation, sharing your thoughts which was very, very insightful to hear again, and a great inspiration and role model. Thank you so much once again for accepting the invitation. And with that, people watching this video, if you like the video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below your suggestions, feedbacks, and whatever you would want to convey to me. And also, I also do run a blog page and a website, which will be linked down below. Show your support in there as well. And yeah, we've launched a new series called The World of Seven Lines. Support that as well. And do turn on your post notifications for further updates from the First Step YouTube channel. With that, it would be a wrap for today. Signing off, it's Mihir and Hasini here.
Thank you.
Tada, bye bye. I'll see you next week.